Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the coaching community, the Book Business Bosses, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. I am thrilled to be with you today. And so excited with all that is going on, not only in my life, but in your life as well. So today I'm going to be talking about from decisions to direction. In Judges 20 and 7, now all you Israelites speak up and tell me what you have decided to do. And several places in the scriptures where the children of Israel had to decide. They had to choose ye this day whom you're going to serve. As for me and my house, Joshua said, we're going to serve the Lord. So making decisions is a really critical thing. What you're going to decide to do, direction you're going to head in, making a decision is really, really a key. But that influences your direction, which way that you're headed once you decide. Now, we still have to talk about act, and we still have to talk about putting forth effort and being determined, and even when you face opposition. But today, we're going to talk about decisions, making decisions and direction. Because we've been talking about, last week we started talking about the key to the preparing for the crossover, or the keys to the crossover. Because we're crossing over, whether you're listening to this and you're crossing over into another day, we're crossing over to another week, we're crossing over into another month, we're talking crossing over into another quarter, or the brand new year. It doesn't really matter. There are some decisions that clearly have to be made, and you have to decide what type of life you're going to live, what kind of business you're going to have, what your family's going to do. What if you don't have a family, if you're a single person by yourself, you have to decide each day what you're going to do, how you're going to behave, how you're going to react, how you're going to respond, what you're going to get done. And we often say, oh my gosh, this happened and life happened, but you made a decision to give into what life happened. Some things are out of your control. I'm not talking about emergencies and an accident, a flat tire, the train came, somebody died, the house burned down. Those things are out of your hands. But sometimes you have to decide clearly what you are going to give into and what you're not going to give into. Sometimes you do have a say. Some things are out of your hands. I'm like, God, you didn't even warn me. You didn't tell me. It just happened. But sometimes it's just totally out of my control. But then there are times when God gives you an opportunity to decide. You make the decision. You make the choice. It's not, oh, the devil made me do it. Nobody down the street made me do it. It's your decision. It's on you. So first off, you have to decide. When you're headed into this crossover, if you do have some decision-making power and you do have some ability to say yes or no, then take it, because there's so many things in life that you didn't have any choice about. So that decision will, when you decide a direction that you're going to head, when you decide a path, a plan, a goal, then there has to be, once you make that decision, there has to be some deletions. There has to be some deletions. That's a tough one. That's really hard, and some of it could be as simple as deleting things out of your diet if you're going to be eating healthier, deleting activities, deleting a car that you had, you need a new one. So some things are those types of deletions. And then the hard ones, especially for me, are deleting people, blocking people. I can be cordial with everybody, but comes a time, and especially as I'm getting older, I realize I can't have that toxicity in my space. I don't have room for that. The Bible talks about there were times in our lives and things we didn't know that God kind of winked at what we did and overlooked it because you're inexperienced, or you're young, you don't know, you still learning, whatever. But then there's times after you've been taught after you've been instructed, after you know better, and you're still acting in that behavior, you have to be deleted. So some things have to be deleted, some people have to be deleted, and some places have to be deleted. Now you have to search yourself. We're back to decisions. We're back to number one. You have to decide that. And then my grandfather used to have a saying, you got to handle them with a long handle spoon. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be, well, some people may have to be nasty. If it just all depends on the situation. But you just handle them from afar. A long handle spoon. I love that. So there are some things, of course, number one, that you have to, some decisions you have to make. Some things are out of your hands in life. And then some things you have to, deletions. And that's a tough one. That's a hard one. You're going to need a lot of prayer and a whole lot of everything before you delete. That's the beauty of even in social media. You can delete, you can block, you can limit the notifications. There's a lot of things, especially on Facebook, you can do. And they won't even notify the people. They just all of a sudden won't be able to see your post. It's a beautiful thing. So deletions. And then sometimes you have to designate or delegate. That's kind of a bonus one because I had designations, but then you have to delegate. Some things you have to take off your plate. Some things that after you decide in a direction, you're not going to be able to do all of it. Now, this one's a hard one for me because even more difficult than deletions. Deletions are pretty hard for me, but designations and delegations are difficult for me too as well because I'm multi-gifted. I can do multiple things. But after so long, the plates are falling and I can't balance everything in the air. I confess that. I'm totally transparent about that now. I used to, exhaust myself and wear myself out and all of that. But as I get older, I don't have the strength. I don't have the endurance. I have more responsibility, more people, more books, more business, more opportunities come. So there's some things you can no longer do. So you have to designate that as a yes or a no. You're still making decisions now. You still have to designate that as that's something I can participate in. Because remember, you're not omnipresent, only God is. So you can't be everywhere at the same time. So there are some times that authors that I've worked with go to and participate, and I tell them, okay, you all, here's the opportunity, go for it. But I can't be there. I won't be there. No. Or sometimes you have to delegate, have somebody else either be your representative or a task for them to fulfill. Now, as you all know, I have control issues. I'm not controlling, I just have control issues of how and what and when. So when I delegate something to someone else, I'm usually sitting on pins and needles. I don't know. Am I the only one? I guess I'm by myself. Who does? Maybe the only one. But when I delegate something, I'm usually like, "Oh, did he get it done? Oh, are we okay? We good?" Because I'm a self-starter. I'm a doer. I'll do it myself. Can't nobody do it like me. But over so time, remember I said, all those multiple plates and multiple opportunities is floating around in the air, and I'm gonna drop something. Something's gonna break. Something's gonna not get done. So designating other people to do it, assigning something to somebody else, or delegating someone else to do something else, to be your your representative or somebody. It's hard. It takes me out of my comfort zone. Heading into the next year, next quarter, next month, that's a hard one for me. That's a tough one for me, but I have to do it. Okay, so you got to decide. You're gonna have to delete some things off your plate if you're gonna handle something new and head in the new direction. You gotta have designations and or delegations, and then you gotta head in the direction. You gotta head in this direction. What's the best path for you? What's the best direction for you? For you, not for anybody else. For you. Because when it's all said and done, you're going to have to be the one that's going to have to Sink or swim, as they say, win or lose, it's on you. So what's the direction? From Louisville, Kentucky to Chicago, the quickest and the straight direction is 65 north. That's the best way to get there. But you can go all kinds. You can do 52. You can do side roads. You can do all kinds of little side roads. But the quickest way, the best highway to get there, highway if you're in a car. Now, if you're on a plane, just get on a plane, and you can be there in about 45 minutes on Southwest. So, but the direction, you have to decide on a direction and path to head, because eventually, you get stuck in stagnation and stuck in, because number one, you didn't want to decide. Because once you make a decision and then you head and you start making provisions and you're headed for the crossover, you eventually, okay, you're going to have to head in some direction. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to, you just, it can't happen any other way. And you're making a decision when you don't do anything. But then you can't be unhappy when things don't happen the way you want them to. And that one's moving, and that one, yeah. Because I make decisions. I have two people primarily to answer to, and that's God and my husband, Brian Morrison. After that, I'm moving. Now, sometimes my money may limit me at times, but I'll say I'll go save for it. I'll go work extra. I'll do something else to get it done, so that I can and get that done and head in that direction, because I think that's a good plan and a path for me to be on. But once I decide, I'm here in Dallas, Texas, and I had said a few weeks ago, I'm coming to Dallas. A few months ago, I'm coming to Dallas. And the promoter and the person who's hosting the event, I check in with them. Everything's still a go. Everything's still on, because I put my word out there. I said I was going to be there. And last night we went out to dinner with a couple, and they said, "And you said you was coming, and here y'all are." I said, "Yeah." Usually when I make a decision, unless some major last minute emergency, the ice storm, snowstorm, somebody sick, somebody dies, that I have to immediately take care of, something would happen, God forbid, with Brian or something, I'm going to pretty much be doing it. Unless there's some act of God that prohibits me from doing it, which has happened. So, and then finally, just my bonus, do it. Once you decide, you just start doing it. Even if it's not perfect, even if you don't, I didn't really know what I was doing, girl, I just started. Good. That's a great place to be. Just start. Just do it. Just begin. Make it happen. Head in a direction and start doing it. If you don't really fully know what you're doing, especially if you have a passion for it and the heart for it, just do it. All right. Coming up next, I hope that blessed you. I hope that helped you as we prepare for the crossover and continue to move forward with the crossover. Coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Live Your Best Life, hosted by me on envision-radio.com. You can listen, of course, 24/7 on envision-radio.com on the internet, or download our free app at the Google Play Store. Sorry, we don't have Apple yet, but Google Play Store, let's make it happen. Then you can also get it on these apps: Simple Tuner, My Tuner, Radio.Garden, Audacity, Get Me Radio, and Media U. There are tons of ways for you to listen. Live Your Best Life and some other phenomenal programming can be heard 24/7, where praise meets talk on envision-radio.com. Now, coming up this week, I am going to be headed out again. I think this is my last out-of-town trip for 2021. December the 11th, I'll be at the Writer's Block Book Fair in Toledo, Ohio. I'll be at the Franklin Park Mall from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., I believe, is the time. And then on December 18th, I'll be home, but I'll be at the Millionaire Marketplace, 416 West Liberty Street in Louisville, Kentucky, at 12 noon to 6 p.m. So please stop by either of those two places. You can always, always, always go to my solo.to/Julia A. Royston and link to all my websites and find out everything going on with me. Follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all that good stuff. So follow me on social media as well, and continue to see all that I'm doing. Of course, there's also a link to talkwithroyston.com, which is my calendar. If you're interested in writing a book or you're wanting to write a book, I have classes and everything coming up in January. As a matter of fact, if you're interested in writing a children's book, I have a children's book boot camp coming up January 6th, 2022. Go to children'sbookbootcamp.com. We just recently had Giving Tuesday, but Giving Tuesday can happen every day. BK Royston Foundation is a 501c3 IRS recognized 501c3, which I'm extremely proud of. It is a year old, will be 2 years old, June 23rd, 2022. But you can help us reach more children, especially during the holidays. But to date, we have delivered books and backpacks and supplies, 1,310. You can donate. Go to bkroystonfoundation.org. Help us. We're all about literacy, learning, and leading. So be sure and visit bkroystonfoundation.org. Your tax-exempt donation will be used to further the literacy efforts and learning efforts for underserved and underrepresented communities. So super proud of that. So I am thrilled at everything that is going on in my life and yours, and I trust as you continue to prepare for the crossover, that some phenomenal things will continue to happen and be done in your life. I'm Dr. Julia Royston, from direction to decision to let's just do it. Blesses you today and always. So that's my prayer today, tomorrow, and always, that you live your best life.